So I want to take a minute and talk about the causes of snowball Earth and then what brought the Earth out of this huge glacial cycle. So as we learned, right before the Varangian glaciation, or as we lovingly know it, snowball Earth, we had Rodinia form. Right, our first supercontinent. So there was some major tectonics going on. Now, when Rodinia formed, what's interesting about it, when Rodinia formed right here, okay, here's our North Pole, here's our South Pole, here's our equator, right? Rodinia formed going across the equator. So when Rodinia formed, right, let's say here's our continent, it blocked off all of the equatorial warm seaways. Now, you should know this from living in coastal Louisiana. Think about our warm summer days. Most of the time, that warm air is coming up off of the Gulf, right, making us very warm and humid. Well, what would happen if we got rid of all of these equatorial seaways? Right? Well, the seaway provides the warmth for the continent. So due to the formation of Rodinia, things started to get cold. So that was our first reason, right, why snowball Earth started to form. Right, we had plate tectonics, and it closed up those nice, warm equatorial seaways. Now, the second thing going on, right, if we think about our land plants, right, so here we are, so here we are on Earth, right. Before we had land plants, there was lots of CO2, right, in the atmosphere. Things were really warm, right, on Earth. Because what CO2 does, it's a greenhouse gas. So CO2 allows the sun rays to come in, but see, what happens is most of the sun rays bounce off, but carbon dioxide doesn't allow them to. It keeps them trapped. So what happens is the Earth starts to get really, really warm. Now, what was happening near the end of, or in the Neoproterozoic, is we started developing things that were photosynthetic. Maybe not quite land plants, but those little stromatolites, right, that we talked about. So what's going to happen to all this carbon dioxide? Well, hopefully you've already guessed. Our next cause, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis was turning all of this carbon dioxide into oxygen. So what's going to happen when we remove this carbon dioxide blanket? Well, it's going to be just like tossing off the blanket when you get out of bed in the morning, right, on a cold winter day. It's going to start to get cold. So these two reasons plunged the Earth into this global ice age. Now, what is going to rescue us, right? We need some rescue. What's going to make us warm? Well, if we think about those two causes, right, we have plate tectonics and photosynthesis. Which one of these two can easily change to bring the Earth out of this cold cycle? Well, once photosynthesis starts, once we start changing carbon dioxide into oxygen, right, we can't really stop that process. So it's going to be plate tectonics. We're going to start to see the rifting of Rodinia, right? It's going to start to break up. And that rifting, right, we're going to start to get lots of volcanism, which is going to provide a lot of atmospheric gases. Plus, we're going to reopen those equatorial seaways, which warms everything up. So plate tectonics is what brings us out of snowball Earth.